Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Week 6 of the NFL gets underway Thursday night. Last week, week 5, I went 7 and 8. No, not great, but not horrible. Not like weeks 2 and 3 were. Those are some bad numbers. Overall this year, I'm 19 and 29. Week 4 was my bye week. A little back on track now, 7 and 8. Hopefully this week we can get above 500. Something notable happened in week 5 I wanted to point out was Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions. Jim Schwartz, the head coach for Buffalo, he had his team carry him off the field when he won. It's kind of a Bush League, kind of in-your-face type thing at Detroit. Whatever, each their own. Golden Tate actually responded if some media guy asked him, what'd you think about this? He starts going on about it was stupid and ignorant, it's not college, that they're going to pay him back for it. Golden Tate has a bigger issue with the fact that this coach got carried off, but yet he's okay with the fact his team lost, and the fact his team blew a 14-0 lead. Dude, get your priorities straight. You're paid to play football. You're paid to play football. You're not paid to comment on other stuff. You lost a football game. Done. Whatever, man. Alright, first game, Thursday night game, we got division rivals. Tied for the division lead at 3-2. We have the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Obviously, any division game is, especially these two kind of teams, any division game is important. Obviously, coming into the year, division title, if they end up tied, based on head-to-head record and divisional record. So, yeah, these division games are really important. Indianapolis is actually favored by 3, and I'm picking Indy to win. I think Andrew Luck has been there. He's won games. He's made the playoffs. Houston is still an up-and-coming team. No one really thought they'd be where they're at this year. I don't know if they're a playoff team yet. They're playing some good football. But I actually think Indy's going to win, and I'm taking the 3 points on that. Next game, we had a 3-1 Denver Broncos versus the 1-4 New York Jets at New York. Denver's favored by 9. I'm taking Denver to win that. The Jets are just a mess right now. Geno Smith and Michael Vick and Rex Ryan. Who knows who the quarterback's going to be? And Rex Ryan looks like he's probably going to be getting fired before the year, either before the year's over with or at the end of the year. I mean, it's just a train wreck in New York right now. Nothing more you can say about that. Denver's going to win. We have the 3-2 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 2-2 Cleveland Browns. Another division matchup here. Obviously, one game separating these two. No one thought Cleveland would be have 2 wins at this point, let alone 2 wins all season. Cleveland's actually favored at home by 2.5. I'm picking Cleveland with this. I think Hoyer's playing well right now. Overall, that team's not really missing Josh Gordon that bad. I think if they can hang in there, they have a shot at making the playoffs this year. Who would have thought that Cleveland had a shot earlier in the season? Sitting here at 2-2, only 1 game behind Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to be there at the end of the year. But Cleveland's my pick on that one. Yeah, this next game's going to get a lot of ratings. It's another division matchup, but it's the 0-5 Jacksonville Jaguars versus the 1-4 Tennessee Titans. Yeah, 1 win between these two teams. Tennessee is actually favored by 6. I'm not sure if Bortles is going to play this week for Jacksonville, but I am taking Tennessee by 6. I think Tennessee, they at least 1 win. They seem like they got something going on with Jake Locker and stuff, but we'll see. But I'm taking Tennessee to win. We have the co-division leader, Green Bay Packers at 3-2. At the 2-2 Miami Dolphins, Green Bay is favored by 3.5. Taking Green Bay with that. I think Aaron Rodgers, Eddie Lacy, Reggie Cobb. I think they're kind of starting to get their mojo going, being the Green Bay Packers. So I'm thinking Green Bay is going to win that. Next game we have the division tie with Green Bay, the Detroit Lions at 3-2, in the interdivisional game versus the 2-3 Minnesota Vikings. Detroit's only favored by 2 right now. It seems like Matthew Stafford isn't really Matthew Stafford of old. He's still having some issues. Calvin Johnson's hurt. I think he's either probable or questionable for this week's game. So, Calvin Johnson's not himself this year, so that's probably why Detroit's only favored by 2. Minnesota, I don't know if Bridgewater's going to play. I know he was out deactivated last week. We'll see if that high ankle sprain. I am taking Detroit. I have to go with my quarterback, fantasy football quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Hopefully he has a good game. One of those type, Peyton Manning type games. I need it because I need to win. So I got Detroit winning by at least 2. 3-2 Carolina Panthers versus the 3-1 Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams are leading their division right now. So if both teams keep playing the way they've been, this could be a preview of a playoff game. I'm taking the 3-1 Cincinnati Bengals favored by 7. I just think right now they're playing really good football, and Andy Dalton and AJ Green. But I know I just watched SportsCenter this morning, and it looks like AJ Green may not play. He had a toe injury, and they carted him off the field. Don't know how serious it is. Don't know what his status is going to be for game time. But like I said, literally 10 minutes before doing the video, watching SportsCenter, and they talked about it. So I'm still taking Cleveland to win, but I'm taking Carolina on the points. I don't know if Cleveland can win by a touch, or Cincinnati, excuse me. I'm taking Cincinnati to win. I'm taking Carolina with the points. I don't think they can win by a touchdown without AJ Green if he's going to be out. We have the division leading New England Patriots tied with the division rival Buffalo Bills, both at 3-2. New England is actually favored by 3. Which Tom Brady are we going to see? Are we going to see the Tom Brady that got shellacked at Kansas City 41-14, or are we going to see the Tom Brady that won last week? Obviously right now it looks like Tom Brady's on the backside of his career. Is he a playoff quarterback still? Is he among the elite quarterbacks still? I don't know. Unfortunately, with the offensive line and that roster around him and his weapons are not so-called weapons, receivers, we'll see. I know he's still got Ron Gronkowski as his tight end, but 2 guys can't do everything. And if the offensive line isn't keeping the defense away from Brady, Brady's either rushing around or getting sacked. He can't do much laying on his back. So, so I'm taking them Buffalo to win that at home. I just don't know about the Patriots right now. Next game we have the 3-2 Baltimore Ravens versus the 1-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baltimore's favored by 3.5. I'm taking Baltimore to win that. We have the division leading San Diego Chargers at 4-1 versus the division rivals and California rivals, the 0-4 Oakland Raiders. San Diego's favored by 7.5. That Raiders team looks horrible right now. I know Derek Carr is an up-and-coming quarterback. Unfortunately, I see him possibly turning that like Jamarcus Russell. You go to Oakland and you're a young quarterback, you have nothing around you, and you just basically just falter. Hopefully that doesn't happen to this kid, but Oakland's got to do something. Either move to LA, one of the two, hopefully teams moving to LA, or they need a new stadium, they need a better roster, they need a coach, they need this. They need a lot of stuff. So, but it looks like this year we may have 2 teams go winless. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders, which would be sad for both those franchises, but Detroit was able to turn it around a few years after going winless, so we'll see what happens. We have the 2-3 Chicago Bears versus the 2-3 Atlanta Falcons, and Atlanta's favored by 3. Jake, what more can you say about the Bears quarterback, Jay Cutler? He 1 minute he's throwing touchdowns, next minute he's throwing interceptions. He's such a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde quarterback. You don't know what you're going to get. He has the talent and the ability and the receiving core and the weapons on that team to be a, Peyton Manning, to be a Drew Brees. But also there's times he acts like a, Jake Locker or a Geno Smith type. It's like, he's got the weapons there. He's got Alshon Jeffries. He's got Brandon Marshall. He's got Matt Forte. He's got Greg Olsen, tight end. But he doesn't always make the smartest decisions. So we'll see what happens here. I'm taking Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons to win that at home. We have the surprising division-leading 4-1 Dallas Cowboys versus the 3-1 division-leading Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is actually favored by 8. I'm taking Seattle to win this at home. Their home field advantage is just sick at that Northwest. Dallas, I mean, somehow they're finding a way to win in these games despite how Romo plays. He's actually playing pretty decent right now. After the first week of the season, you thought, oh boy, here we go. And they just rattled off 4 wins straight, But I think this is going to be a loss versus Seattle. I think Seattle on that defense will be able to pick apart Tony Romo. And Seattle's going to win that. We had the 3-2 New York Giants at the 4-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, a big division game here, big rivals. One game separates them. This come down to the season for the division title. Eli Manning's looking okay this year. Giants, they have their moments. The running game is good, or they can't run the ball, or Eli's throwing touchdowns, or he's getting sacked. It's like in between. That Chip Kelly and up-tempo offense that Nick Foles is running. They got LaShawn McCoy and Darren Sproles in that two-headed backfield. Unfortunately for my fantasy team, that doesn't work very well because, LaShawn McCoy was my number 1 draft pick, and he ain't doing jack squat this year. But whatever. I'm taking Philadelphia to win that. I'm taking them to go to 5-1 and winning that crucial division game. On Monday Night Football, we have the division rivals. San Francisco 49ers at 3-2 versus the 1-3 St. Louis Rams. San Francisco is favored by 3.5. Austin Davis is playing pretty well as a quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. I know Zach Stacy isn't doing much running back. I know Benny Cunningham actually did better than he did last week. Brian Quick is kind of turning into be a 3-year project as a receiver that's actually starting to pay off. They brought in Kenny Britt, looking at, beginning of the year having Sam Bradford coming back from injury. Hey, we actually may have something here, and then Bradford gets hurt. And then Sean Hill gets hurt. Now we're third-string quarterback, Austin Davis, who wasn't even on the roster when the season began. He was on the practice squad. And Jeff Fisher's announced him last week as the starting quarterback for the rest of the season, which is good and bad. I know Jeff Fisher doesn't like having that quarterback controversy on his team, but yet this kid, he's still growing as a quarterback. Unfortunately, another season down to the St. Louis Rams. I know there's a lot of talk of them moving to LA before, after the season. There's been talk of that for a long time. I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't. I know they're trying to get a new stadium here in St. Louis. It's not working very well. Stan Kroenke, last year bought 600 acres of land in LA. Everyone's like, oh, he's a land developer. It's a business deal. It has nothing to do with the Rams. When the piece of land he bought is prime real estate in LA and big enough to build a football stadium. Yeah, that's just a little on the iffy side. I'd heard from somebody else that there was I actually went on a job interview. I'm not going to say what company, and I was told by that company that they had knowledge of the Rams definitely moving to St. Louis, and that their company was going to be the sponsor of the stadium. And actually had a drawing of the stadium. So, don't know how true that is, don't know what that was all about. When the guy told me this, I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So, we'll see what happens with that, but obviously it looks like you're not going to do well this year. They're at 1-3 right now. Let the Jameis Winston sweepstakes begin. Alright, that wraps up week 6 of the NFL. Hopefully do a little better in my picks this week like I did last week. Hopefully this video makes it up before the Thursday night game, because that's going to be a barn burner right there. Indianapolis at Houston. It's probably one of the better Thursday night games so far. It seems typically this year the Thursday night games have been just a whitewash by the home team. It seems like the visiting team is never had a shot. I did pick Indy to win that by 3. They're on the road. It would be, if they won, believe it'd be the first road team on Thursday night this year to win. A lot of players don't like the Thursday night games because it's a short week. You know, typically when you got to travel, you're off on Monday. You play Sunday, you're off Monday. You practice Tuesday, you fly out Wednesday, and games on Thursday. You don't have any time to prepare. So NFL tried to make it division games in order to help that. Obviously, it's been a crazy season, a lot of real blowouts on Thursday night. One thing that I thought about that they could do to fix the issue of that is have the teams that play Thursday night be off the week before. Would it be a perfect scenario? No, but at least that way, if they're off Sunday, they play Thursday. They don't play a week later on Sunday. Maybe it'd work. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But it's just something because I mean these games haven't even been close. Hopefully this game is. Hopefully that the road team gets the victory here in Indianapolis, and we go on from there. All right, well, that wraps up week 6 of the NFL. Hopefully everybody enjoys the football games this weekend, and we'll see you back next week. Thanks for watching.